Hey, we are back with another episode of the Nintendo Pipeline Podcast. I am Clay, CMM, your host today, and with me I have.
Jared, also known as One Up Muffin on the Nintendo Pipeline Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and James, who's here, pumped full of adrenaline, ready to talk about indie games.
Not that we were just talking about like a really fast car chase, and now we're transitioning into Indie World.
Yep, and there was
Someone should
tons of great car chase games here today, right?
Yeah, a lot
Someone
of
should
fun.
make a good car chase game.
Yeah,
That would
Like
be fun.
specifically, that's the only that's the only focus of the game is surviving a car chase as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, the closest thing I can really think of is like the Need for Speed, like cops and robbers mode,
yeah. I'm thinking of
Or
Spy
like-
Hunter, but that's not really
or
car
like
chase.
Burnout. I
Oh,
think
well-
had something like it too.
I'm thinking like the GTA wanted system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's the core of the video game, and it's
Yeah.
built around that.
Yeah, you just have to steal people's cars to get a chain.
I have an
Feel free to
idea.
Steal that idea from me, anyone who's smarter than I am.
I have an idea on how to do this.
Sure.
What if we just go back and forth on games we find interesting, and then once we can't find any more interesting games,
That's it.
we just end it.
That's
yeah.
it. I mean, I don't mind that. I love how we're figuring it out live. Which
Like
is
the game made by the Frenchmen where you take pictures of the pretty like cartoon world.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Don Dogna Dordogna
Dordogne.
I can't pronounce it.
Dordogne.
Yeah.
French fries, dude.
Dordogne.
Eiffel
Yeah.
Tower. Bonjour.
Oh my god. Yeah,
That's cool.
it looked very cute.
It's
I
like
like photo games.
2D and 3D at the same time. I don't know.
I
Did you-
need to still play Uramangi Generation.
Oh yeah, I played
Yeah.
a few levels that I got bored, but it's very cool.
I like the idea of video games centered around taking pictures
Yeah.
of stylized worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a cool thing, like using the principles of photography in a world that you would never be able to use. You'd never actually be able to take photographs in, you know.
I need to play
like-
Tome still. That's another one.
Like selfie modes and like hyper realistic looking games are kind of lame.
Yeah.
Because it's like
having
real
them-
life.
But yeah. But having them in like hyper stylized games, I think that's pretty cool.
What if I told you there was a photography game where you were in the world of Pokemon? Would that be cool?
Oh yeah, that would be really neat. I take pictures of those animals.
Those animals.
Back to Dordogne.
It's like Africa.
I'm just gonna say it more and more American-y.
Dordogne.
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 Yeah, like
This
it's
is
like
why we call them freedom fries, dude.
it's the
Can't say
camera
that
angle
shit.
is like Resident Evil. Like it's like fixed camera angles, pre-rendered backgrounds that are like painted style, but your
Yeah.
character is 3D. It's very good visually. It looks like a painting.
Yeah, it does look like a painting. It's kind of like a, yeah. It looked very pretty, which is half the battle for me.
Oh wow, you only care about games
No.
visuals.
No, I don't. Actually, this is the funny part. I liked so I don't care about like the whole like story aspect of it, but the isometric dodgeball game Desta looked neat gameplay wise.
Oh yeah, so that first trailer, I was like, okay, I'm on board, and then it was like turn based. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean it's not
I've
a
lost.
game that I think I can see myself like playing, but like I thought it looked interesting, like
Man, that's such a
gameplay
ringing
wise.
endorsement.
Well, I mean, like it's not like it doesn't look bad. It's just like I don't like really generally like strategy stuff or like turn-based stuff or whatever.
I mean, the thing is, I do like turn based stuff, and it just looks very slow.
It does look slow.
Was that the game that was like the open with the narrator being like character driven roguelike metaphorical ball game?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Okay,
the one.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
I
the
laughed
one.
really,
Metaphorical bulk.
I laughed really hard at metaphorical ball game.
Yeah.
A good line.
My ball game is mad metaphorical, dude.
That's like up there with
damn.
like hobby grade shooter.
I know it was. I almost feel like she must have been riffing, right? Like
Yeah.
on that.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, that game looked alright. I feel like the overall theme of this indie world was like vibe games, right?
Yeah.
Vibe games that I generally don't want to play.
Yeah, I feel that.
It was more. It
wait,
reminded me
they're-
of like the wholesome directs or whatever.
Yes, it seemed like a wholesome direct, and
Yeah, it
that's
was
like
very
not really
vibey.
what I want.
Yeah.
I deeply appreciate a lot of what a lot of the games are going for, and a lot of the like varied representations of different kinds of people and different walks of life and different
I love how
races and
multicultural
countries.
they are.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It
Yeah,
was very,
Venba was a good example of that. The
Venba, was that the opener?
that was the cooking one. I believe it was the opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the concept of like, okay, this is how immigrant families like can connect with other people because they make the food and the food is really good and
Right.
yeah, like that kind of sentiment is really sweet. And I'm sure I hope those games find the audience of people that they're looking for because they're
I
super.
do wonder. Yeah.
They're super not cynically made.
No.
I just feel like I would probably get bored playing them because I'm an asshole.
Yeah, I would. Venba doesn't seem like the game for me, but I like how it looks. The food looks very tasty,
and I like where it comes from.
Yeah.
That's. I just wanted to get that out of the way before we sound like a bunch of cynical like fucking
assholes.
30-year-old
Douchebags.
losers
Yeah.
that are like, oh yeah, these little twee games are just not for me because
When Zelda.
I can acknowledge when something is not for me, but it's also not like cynical garbage that makes me sick.
Yeah.
None of this stuff makes me mad that it exists.
No.
A lot of it's very, very cute.
Yeah.
At least nothing we've talked about yet is cynical garbage. I think there is some, but we don't need to talk about that stuff. There's a game that I really want to play in here.
Yes.
There's a game that I actually want to play.
I was waiting for it. Go for it.
Pepper Grinder.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Hell
so
yeah.
I've seen this game. Did you guys see this game for the first time today, or have you seen this before as well?
This is the first time for me today.
I saw it on the GBA when it was called Drill Dozer, but
it's not like Drill Dozer.
I know. I'm just kidding.
So I saw this a while ago. It was actually featured in a like a Donkey YouTube video, like a game he played at PAX, and it looked really cool.
Oh, is he publishing it?
No, though I heard he only publishes really good games. So.
Yeah, so maybe he is.
I forgot.
I think it's a Devolver. I think
it is Devolver. Yeah. Is he actually a publisher though? Like, is he publishing stuff now?
Well,
I mean, he made that video.
He's gonna try.
Oh, that's a.
But
all right.
I don't think anything's happened with it yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be big news when like the first Donkey game comes out, and whether it sucks or not.
I don't want to call them Donkey games.
I couldn't tell if that video was like 100% serious.
I think it was.
But if it was, the funniest possible outcome is that all of the games he publishes are good because that would make the most people mad.
Yeah, that would be like. I mean, it would be great to get good games, and it would just be like everybody made fun of him, and like,
Anyway, Pepper Grinder.
Yeah,
Pepper Grinder was so fun. Okay.
Yeah, it looks tight.
So it's
the Drill Wisp. I know someone said that and it upset people. So
yeah, that upset me too. Because I don't like how Sonic Colors plays. Like this looks more fun to play. Yeah, so you have a drill and it like goes nonstop, and it like drives through Earth. And when you're in the Earth, you can kind of like go around the Earth and dig around, but you can't stop moving. And then you sometimes jump out of the dirt and are like flying around the map. It's amazing pixel art. It looks like it has a lot of unique assets too.
Yeah, there are
some don't look copy pasted.
There are some light puzzle elements that I think work. There was like that one segment where like they drilled into like the wall and it flipped downwards, and like so that looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, and there's also some combat. There's a gun too.
Yeah, I saw the gun.
If you're someone like me that likes guns in your video games, I got a game for you.
I saw the gun and was immediately like, no, I don't want the gun. Can we just stick with the drill? Like, I don't need. It's just like one of those things where it's like the drill gameplay is so satisfying. I don't even want to. I don't need another game where I'm switching to a gun.
Yeah, I feel that. But do you know how you shoot the gun? Drilling. You shoot the gun by putting your drill into it.
Yeah, but it's still a gun.
Yeah. I think
there was that robot thing.
Yeah, there's a robot part too.
So it seems like there's a couple of things that you can kind of attach to.
Yeah,
and it changes
hopefully it's
up.
mostly the platforming and the other stuff is just kind of secondary.
Yeah.
But it looks great. The developer is called
RX.
Artac?
Everyone's gonna just make fun of us.
Yandere.
Yandir.
All right, that's my choice.
Yeah, RX. Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's. I guess you get bigger or different drill bits as you go through. So I'm assuming that's what it means by like the gun and the all that. It looked very good. It looked very fun.
Yeah, it looks like a game I will very much likely want to play.
That was like the winner for me of this one. I think kind of for most people.
I thought Oni looked fun.
I liked Oni. The only thing that upset me about Oni was that I was just looking at like the attack range on that thing, and it was nothing, and I was like, "This is going to drive me insane." the club is like it like the attack range was like 2 centimeters.
That one looks cute, but the world looked really empty, and that bothers me. I wonder if that'll be the case in the full game, or we're just seeing different areas.
Maybe. I don't know. The guy, he looked like a little Dragon Quest enemy, and I think that's what made him charming to me.
The art is very cute.
Yeah.
The combat doesn't look bad.
Yeah, and it's like you're controlling 2 characters, I guess. There's that thing. They made a point to say it's like a spirit. It's like a spirit. Kazemaru as its name is. So I don't know if it's like you're really controlling them both at the same time, or if it's just like certain attacks will involve the spirit, but like it looked fun.
Yeah, it looks like potentially cool. Someone said it looked like Town, and it does kind of look like Town.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It'd be funny if that came out first.
Maybe it's been a while, but I didn't really think of Town. But then again, I don't ever think of Town, so it's
also who's the developer? It seemed like people knew the name.
Kene Design and
but who is Shueisha?
The company is Kene Design. I'm sure there's.
Maybe I was remembering I thought it said Shueisha Games. That might have been the publisher.
No. Shueisha Games is definitely on there.
Oh, yeah, it just doesn't list it on PR. That's all.
Yeah.
Clouded Leopard, I think, is the publisher. Speaking of, I have no transition.
They actually seem like a Japanese company. That's kind of cool.
That's why I was not sure.
My one like kind of about it was just like, oh, it's just a bunch of white people making a game called Oni with like Japanese imagery. I was like, come on, I mean, that's not that there's anything like wrong with that like necessarily, but it's like, come on, you weebs.
I think the title is the funniest part. One, because it shares it with that other Oni, the lesbian game. That's all I can remember about it. Is it by Rockstar, I think, or it's on PS2, Oni.
I don't really know what that game is.
And the other thing that's very funny to me is that it's Oni, Road to be the mightiest Oni, which is beautifully redundant.
Oh no, I know what game you're. The Bungie game, you mean?
Is it Bungie?
With the purple hair girl?
Yeah, purple hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was when you said PS2 game named Oni, I was thinking of something else, and I can't think of what that is now.
Yeah,
but that's funny.
It's like a PS2 action game. The girl has purple hair on the cover.
Yeah, I remember the controls are very difficult.
I was thinking of Okage Shadow King.
Oh yeah, no, not that. This is like some action game on PS2 that's weird, and the only thing that I like know about it, I think it has a sequel even. The only thing I know about it is that there's like a lesbian relationship, and it was like the big hot topic back in the day.
Nice.
Because that's so,
Well, like early 2000s.
Avant-garde. Oh man. Girls kissing girls.
I know. How could we let this happen?
Ooh, Fear Effect, huh?
Yeah, wait, maybe that's what I'm confusing it with.
Fear Effect?
Does Fear Effect have that too?
Yeah, Fear Effect's whole deal is that it's about lesbians, I think.
Oh shit! Maybe Oni isn't. I don't remember anymore.
So, I mean, I'm on the Wikipedia page for Oni, and there's nothing for lesbian or gay.
Damn, it was probably Fear Effect. I don't know why I always associate that with Oni.
Oni was released by Bungie West.
Bungie West. So like wester than the West that they're in?
Yeah, and that was the only game that Bungie West ever made.
Okay, yeah, I can't. Okay, that was a bad Google search.
Okay. Anyways, this is.
I have two lesbian games.
I want the answer.
I have another game that
All right, I'm gonna be looking this up in the background. I want you to know
fine.
as soon as I find out.
Goodbye World.
Oh yes.
That one looked potentially cool. It's like a. So I'll just read it from the Steam page. It's a narrative adventure game, but you play through 12 stages of a puzzle platformer while following the two protagonists through 13 chapters of their story. I don't know. So it's like half a narrative game, and then it also has like this like Game Boy puzzle platformer in it.
Yeah.
This is a neat combo if both parts are good.
Yeah, I remember kind of seeing that and was like, I'm kind of tired of, I mean, I'm personally a bit tired of puzzle platformers unless they do something very interesting. But it didn't look bad. You know, it was.
I kind of agree with that because I tend to prefer like kinetic platformers to puzzle ones.
Yeah,
I like puzzle platformers a lot, especially like that Game Boy. The Game Boy style hits a good nerve for me. The pixel art, it's good. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'll play it, but I'll at least keep an eye on it.
It didn't.
I thought.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna change to a different game, so if
go for it. That was all I had to say about that one.
I thought that, and again, this is another one I don't know if I would ever play, but I thought Space for the Unbound looked really cool.
Space for the the one in Indonesia.
Yeah.
I
was gonna mention that one too.
Art.
Yeah, that one looked good.
It has really nice pixel art.
The slice of life one.
Yeah, it seems like it's just kind of like about hanging out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much in the way of gameplay, but it looks very pleasant.
Was that the one that said like press the button to eat popcorn?
Yes, it did.
I actually laughed out loud at that.
Yeah, I mean we've seen dumber shit.
Yeah, I mean definitely.
Like
yeah,
the button prompt for like holding hands.
Yeah, or like F for respects and all that. I always forget.
The holding hands one was from I think a State of Play.
Yeah, it was like R2 to hold hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I mean,
it's okay.
Same thing. Whatever.
Not like there's not any really, really like sad, lonely stuff in games that were out on the Switch either. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it looked neat. I think it would be interesting just as like a look like culturally into 90s Indonesia. I wouldn't necessarily want to play it, but like I'm kind of curious, like, you know, about that landscape. And
it looked like the type of game I would want to play on my computer, though, because it seems like a kind of a point and click type of deal. But we would see.
Yeah,
it seems like there's not too many controls in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a pixel hunt type.
Yeah,
game.
It seemed like yeah. I don't know. I'm curious about it, but not curious enough to like go for it.
Yeah.
There is one that I actually like that was shown early on. Have a Nice Death. That looked fun to me. I'm like, okay, it's a roguelike again. I'm like, and it looks like Hollow Knight kind of visually, and I'm kind of like, I have like a million games like this.
I was gonna say, you played Hollow Knight? Because if not, you may as well just play Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a cynical asshole for this one. It just looked like one of those, and just like I don't really want to play any of those.
It looked a dime a dozen. But I thought
really
it looked nice.
Yeah, it does. It looks very good for one
looks
of those.
Polished.
It's just like once I heard the words like roguelike and saw that it looked kind of Soulsy like, I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's like
maybe the ball game isn't metaphorical.
Yeah,
maybe it's a very literal ball game.
Well, I think
it's a very kinetic ball game.
I think it's
and like
kind of
if you're
funny.
digging more Hollow Knight, this might be just what you wanted.
I think it's kind of funny because like the whole like I guess the conceit of this is that like you're fighting through like the corporate underworld literally, like it's hell.
That's fun.
Which is silly. But yeah, it looked like it had good energy. I don't know that I would play it, but it looked like it had good energy. It did not look bad to me.
I can see it. It does not look like a bad game. I don't want that to be what I'm coming off as.
There was one
that I do not want to play.
There was one early on. I don't know if you guys remember. He's talking about how like 90s animation, animated movies and stuff like that. And so they go to show the game. I'm like, okay, and it was not what I was expecting it to look like based on what they were talking about. It was called Aka. It's a top-down game. You're like
Aka looked okay, actually.
Yeah. Well, you were. I don't know what you are. You look like a little fat person. I don't.
You're a red panda.
He's a fa. Oh, is he a red panda?
Is he a panda? I don't even remember. But like
he's a little chubby guy.
Like it looked okay, but it was just like, yeah, like I loved like 90s animation and like I'm inspired by that. And I'm like, all right, cool. And they show the game and I'm like, that's not quite what you described, at least to me.
What were you expecting? Like Rocko's Modern Life?
No, I was expecting like almost like a Disney-ish sort of thing, maybe.
Like Aladdin or Lion King.
Yeah, or like something like it. And like the character just immediately to me like stuck out as like kind of not fitting with the background, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but like
I will say you can take a nap on top of a giant capybara, so
yeah, that's true. Like I don't want to say it's like bad or anything. It was one of those things that like it felt like I was like expecting one thing and then got something totally different.
Reality
and it wasn't necessarily a good version of that.
I would like to talk about
yeah.
Can we mention the few games in the sizzle reel?
Yeah, there was some good stuff in there.
There was 3 things. I'll mention the names, then we can go through them.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that were interesting to me were WrestleQuest, Wobble Dogs, and Inscription.
Yeah,
and also and I know James has another one, so I won't take that one. But those 3 looked very good. WrestleQuest looks like a kind of RPG type thing, but with really good pixel art.
Yeah,
and a very interesting pixel art. Like the worlds look very different.
Yeah, I thought it looked interesting. It looks like it looks like the RPG stuff. Like in the battles, it looks like based on what they were showing, it kind of looked like it was like turn-based battles and people were like
they definitely
moves.
like RPG battles.
Maybe like they didn't show the menu, but like yeah, I thought it was interesting. Not a game that I would play again, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it would depend on the writing for me. Like if the writing is like astounding.
Yeah, Wobble Dogs.
It's a pet simulator.
Okay.
Which I think that we don't have enough pet simulators, and it looks like a cute one of those. Very weird pet simulator.
Nintendogs Gang Rise Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is kind of weird. You know what it kind of reminds me of visually a little bit? Cubivore. Not like in the same way, but it's got that
kind of look like Cubivore.
Yeah, it's got like that weird factor going on, and some of these screenshots on the store page are very amusing.
I will say that the game has been out for a while, and it currently has a 98% on Steam with almost 5,000 reviews. So people like Wobble Dogs.
Wow. Okay. It didn't totally stand out to me. Like I saw it, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute, but I didn't really think much of it. I may have to look.
I'm meaning to get it because I do like pet sims, and it's a genre that you do not see much anymore.
Yeah. I agree.
And then Inscription, I've played on PC and beat that game. It's awesome. I think a lot of Switch. If you're not scared away by deck builders at this point or card games, then you'll probably really like Inscription.
It looks really cool to me, and like everything that looks really cool about it to me has nothing to do with the card aspect.
Yeah, I mean the thing is you'll be playing a lot of the card game.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it for me, where it's like, not that it looks bad, it's just not my thing. That's all.
Wonderful game.
You had one in the sizzle reel, James?
Yeah, World of Horror.
Yeah.
It's been out on, well, yeah, I think it came out in early access a couple years ago. I think it's been fully released at this point.
It was on Game Pass for a bit, I think.
It is a yeah, I think it was on Game Pass for a minute. It's on Steam as well. It is like an old PC game, like a really old PC game.
Yeah.
Like the pixel art is like black and white.
Apparently,
I would say like pre 8-bit even.
Yeah, they call it 1-bit.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not that that's, you know.
Yeah, except the art looks really good.
Well, they say, I'm seeing that the art was apparently made by one guy in MS Paint, which I think is very fun.
That's awesome.
Correct.
That is super fun.
All of the monsters and creepy stuff in it is like heavily inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and Junji Ito.
Mm-hmm.
One of those is a horrible racist, and one is not.
And that's up to you to decide.
No, it's not up for you to decide. It's up for Lovecraft's cat to decide.
Oh my god.
The enemies all look really cool. It has like turn-based like RPG combat in it. It's also kind of like a adventure game. It has roguelike elements, but like it's not like a dyed in the wool roguelike.
Yeah.
There's puzzle solving, there's exploring. I've played a teensy bit of it on PC. It's very cool.
What are the roguelike parts? Is like just certain parts are randomized each time you play?
Yeah. There are some parts of it that are randomized. The elements in it are light. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played it. I dabbled in it when it like was first like released, because I think early access was like it was like pre-COVID when it came out.
Yeah, it's still early access, but it is at version 9.9 or 0.9.9, so you'd think it seems like it's almost at 1.0.
Right. Yeah. It seems like they're gonna release it on everything simultaneously.
Yeah.
From what Wikipedia says now that I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
It's gonna exit early access in 2023 and then come out on PS4, PS5, and Switch. I think it's probably a good fit for the Switch, a good handheld game.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Touchscreen.
Yeah, does it have? I wonder if it has touchscreen support.
Hopefully.
I have to assume.
Yeah. There is a demo on itch.io if people want to try it out, which is cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a good.
I may check it out.
There's also a Steam demo of Goodbye World if people are interested.
Yes.
I would say it's not a CMM game, but you might find something. You might find something to like about it since it's horror.
Yeah.
Adjacent.
Yeah, I'd probably like watch someone play it. It's probably what it's would be for me.
I would also give a light shout out. I don't know if I would ever find time to play it, but I really liked Valhalla, the bartending game. So I think it's worth mentioning that they're making a sequel to Coffee Talk, which was kind of like Valhalla, but
not
a little bit more like twee and set in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And since the sequel to Valhalla is kind of like in a to be determined situation right now, like they originally intended that game to be out in like 2021 or something, and then that's clearly not happened. And I think they've kind of just said it'll be done when it's done at this point. If you're looking for that kind of fix, you probably get it. You probably worse games to get it on than Coffee Talk. Coffee Talk was pretty cute.
There was another game this sizzle reel that I actually. I believe, I'm assuming it's out on other platforms already. Maybe not. Storyteller. The you like make little stories by like arranging like panels and stuff. I thought it looked like an interesting puzzle game. One that I could actually see myself playing. Like each like page basically is like kind of like a couple of panels, and like you can move characters and like interactions around to make complete a story. So like I guess I don't know, like some of them are like 3 panels, some of them are like 6 panels.
It's cute. I have tried the demo when it came out.
There was a demo.
You can still get the demo on Steam. The full game is not out yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably try the demo then, because I thought it looked interesting. I know some people were about Curse of the Sea Rats. I didn't really see much in that.
I don't even remember that one. So
yeah, it was like in the sizzle reel. It was very brief.
Yeah, and That's probably a no for me. It looks like kind of like Transformice, though. So
what is Transformice? Do I dare ask?
Oh, what is Transformice? I'm glad you asked. Transformice is a multiplayer online platformer where where you're a bunch of mice and your goal is to get the cheese. And one of the mice, at least one of the mice, is usually a shaman, and the shaman creates blocks and can push the other mice and help them to get the cheese. So I'm so glad you asked.
It sounds like I want to play Choo Choo Rocket right now.
That sounds like a game that you may have played on your Windows 95 PC called Rodent's Revenge.
Rodent's Revenge? I've not heard.
Also has blocks and mice and cheese. You've never seen Rodent's Revenge?
Man, no, this is my first time seeing Rodent's Revenge.
I don't think I've ever seen Rodent's Revenge either, unfortunately.
Okay.
It looks like Minesweeper.
Hang on, I gotta look it up. I never found anything on Oni, by the way. I'm pretty sure I was just confusing it with Fear Effect.
This is now a Rodent's Revenge podcast.
Rodent's Revenge, I remember this.
Wait, okay, so now, real quick, do you know about Chip's Challenge?
Yes, I do know about Chip's Challenge.
Okay, we're good then. We're good. We're back on good terms.
When are we going to play Boxel on Game Boy?
Oh, it's part of the Microsoft Entertainment Pack 2. Okay. I remember Microsoft Puzzle Pack.
Yeah.
Did I play the Microsoft Entertainment Pack?
Did you play Jizzball?
What?
Jizzball?
Jizzball.
Jizzball. Oh, okay. Okay. We're back on track. We're back on track.
So anyway, there's that game where they had the cat.
Wait, what?
Game where they had the cat and the direct.
Oh, yeah, a little to the left.
Oh, yeah, that game weirdly had some of the most time featured of any game in the direct.
Yeah, it looked like they were ending on it for a second.
I think it's because it was a shadow drop is probably why they put so much.
So there's stuff like Unpacking and like some other organization games out there, and this is one of those. This one just doesn't look as compelling to me gameplay wise. It's like individual puzzles, and a lot of them are like kind of like there's one where you arrange like macaroni strands.
And yeah, I can't tell if there's like a proper solution. Like how
there is apparently, but like the I guess the one of the little silly gimmicks is that if you when you're playing, sometimes the cat shows up and just fucks your shit up,
which is funny.
Which is great. That is great. It says some of them have multiple solutions, so it could be.
Because it seems like you get stars, so maybe like there's like good solutions and great solutions.
Yeah, there's 75 puzzles. Like it looked like the main menu of the game was just like all the puzzles left to right. They showed it like quick in the footage, but it didn't look like it. They looked a little too simple to me. Like there's one where you're arranging like pencils. There's one where you're arranging macaroni strands. There's nothing going on except those individual pieces.
I think people should probably clean their house.
I mean, yeah, but I'll play that instead of cleaning my house.
If this is viscerally satisfying to you, I'm sure your shelf needs to be dusted.
Dude, my shelves have issues, so yes, it is satisfying to me.
I'm not trying to be a dick or anything, and I get that like organizational things can be fun. Like that's practically the core draw of like a puzzle game half the time, right? Like Tetris,
right?
Or Resident Evil 4's inventory system.
Yes, otherwise known as Tetris. Yeah,
I get that, but it's like I feel like there's just this weird like I don't know. It feels like this game is like pulling the layers of abstraction back just a little bit too much for me.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
Unpacking was like fun for the first few levels, and then it felt like a job, and I stopped playing because you had to unpack just so much stuff, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore.
It's like you're eventually gonna get like the game where you're a bagger at a grocery store trying to get as many things into one paper bag as possible.
All right, baby, I'm ready now.
And it's gonna give the people that worked as a bagger in a grocery store, like me when I was a teenager, it's gonna give them visceral PTSD.
And then it's going to get like an 8.0 on IGN.
Yeah, well, it's going to have a really chill hop soundtrack. And
is it going to have like backstory about like their parents sucking or something? Because I feel like that would fit in.
Probably. And then like instead of a cat showing up to randomly knock something over, it's just like a 40-year-old blonde lady coming in and yelling about her coupons.
And it's then, like you got the self-narrated journal entries at the end of each day about what horrible things happen at work.
I mean that actually exists in Valhalla, where it's like basically where like you go home at the end of each shift and you kind of self-narrate how bad things are, and you have to like budget your money. It's like, do I want to buy this cool anime figure or do I want to pay my rent?
Damn, that is a little too cynical for me.
Like the modern Shenmue.
God.
I mean, that's kind of the thing that makes Valhalla work, right? Like cyberpunk and all that. But no, I could definitely see this world now where it's like someone's gonna make that game. The peel the layers of abstraction back a little bit too far, I guess. I don't know.
There's one game on here that I thought was very interesting, but it can either work really well or it could very not work well, and that was Once Upon a Jester, the live theater performance game.
Yeah, I thought that game looked a little too much like fucking what's that?
Night in the Woods.
Wander Song.
Yes, it looked a little too much like Wander
The text boxes remind me of Night in the Woods, but yeah, Wander Song is everything was that meter, and I didn't
get
like
a Night in the Woods vibe.
Well, it was just the text boxes for me.
Gotcha.
But there was like every action in the theater parts looked like it had like a meter, and it was either like you had to time it correctly or you had to like balance the meter or something. So like that part worried me.
I don't think it looked fun.
I didn't.
And also the writing looks too twee.
I didn't get a vibe of what the game was. Is my problem. Like, it is intriguing to have a video game that's like the point is you're putting on a stage show, but I didn't really get an idea of what I was actually like doing.
Yeah,
I feel like you're just hitting the buttons when they fall in. I feel like you're just hitting the buttons when the lines fall in the green zones.
That's why it was kind of like one of those things to me that could go either way, because like I think the concept is really neat and could be really fun, but I don't totally understand how it's executed, and depending on how it's executed, it could just suck.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like any like choices before you do the thing, or if it's just follow the prompts on screen.
Also, I just need to mention this because like it's been driving me crazy, and it always drives me crazy during these things with the presenters. I'm mentioning it now because Once Upon a Jester had a particularly like, I think it was this game that had a particularly rough transition. It was like, Once Upon a Jester, I believe I want to say they were French. Maybe they weren't. All I know is that one of the games was by a French developer, and they were talking to them, and that switches to the presenters for Indie World, and they're like oui oui, and I was like, I want to die.
The photography game was a French guy. It might have been that one.
Yeah, there were a couple by French developers, and they were like oui oui, and I'm like, please end my entire life right now.
So one thing I'm surprised hasn't come up yet, because I thought I was unique in not caring. Did neither of you like Rogue Legacy?
I was
just rewatching that part. No, I liked Rogue Legacy 1 quite a bit. It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
I didn't care for it like, at all.
I thought I would hate it. I thought I would despise Rogue Legacy from seeing videos, but I actually found it was a pretty pleasant game.
I really like
something about it just didn't click.
I like the silly stuff that you can be born with in that.
Yeah.
I did like that part. That part was cool. That was like the one part
you could be colorblind.
This is a good idea.
You could be.
I thought the combat felt pretty good. I didn't want to beat it. Like I did like a boss and was like, okay, I thought my fill, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're expanding on it.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I'm not gonna play Rogue Legacy 2 probably unless it's like on Game Pass or something.
I still need to like really dive properly into Rogue Legacy 1, but I liked what I experienced so far.
I still haven't played Dead Cells.
Yeah, I need to do that too.
If I were to pick up like a 2D, like almost Metroid Castlevania-esque like roguelike, it would probably be that one. I tend to prefer the like roguelikes that are a little bit more Isaac inspired. Like
I think Isaac is like just some roguelikes are so unique in that they feel different each time. Dead Cells, for me, like the combat's really good, but it felt similar each time. maybe a bit too similar. That like after I did like a few runs, I was like, okay, these levels kind of feel a little bit too the same. But it is a cool game. I think you'd like it.
I liked Isaac. I liked Gungeon.
Yeah. I like Spelunky and Binding of Isaac are like my two favorites.
Spelunky's another one that never clicked with me, which I know is wild.
Whoa, that is wild.
That's weird. That feels like a game that would click with you. Kind of surprised.
Yeah, I was really shocked because I got it. I got it kind of late. I got it on the Vita, expecting it to be like the perfect Vita game, and I played it for like 2 or 3 hours, and I was just like, for some reason, this is not working for me.
Oh.
I should probably give it another shot sometime.
That's interesting. Maybe try it with a friend. I love the multiplayer in that game. It's very funny and fun.
Yeah, sorry. I just am briefly skimming through the video right now because there were multiple... I should have wrote them down. There were multiple times when the presenters actively made me angry. Watch. I don't mind puns. That's fine. It's just there was some other stuff that like was distractingly like...
What, are you worried about them appropriating the French language in an English-speaking stream, CMM? Like,
I mean, it was just stuff like it was stuff like that, and I was just like, "Can you please, please make this not horrible to watch?" This is the baseline.
The thing that actually kind of like caught me off guard a little bit in the stream, and this is like super not the fault of anybody, the presenters or anybody. I guess it could be the fault of the person who put together the cut. But I didn't know like practically anything about Inscription other than the screenshots I'd seen of it being a card game. So for the short clip in the sizzle reel to open with like the guy finding a floppy disk with Inscription written on it, I was like, oh, I had no idea it was probably like some meta thing. It just seems like, why would you put that in your trailer? Like if like the whole like deal is that it's meta, wouldn't that be better as a surprise?
I forget how early that's in the game, but
I mean, even if it's the first like 10 seconds,
it is weird though. Yeah, because that wasn't in like the other trailers.
Yeah, it was never in a trailer. I never saw it in a screenshot when it came out on Steam or anything, and it just like I don't know. I had no idea that there was some like meta narrative to that game, which now I have a feeling there is.
Yeah,
just kind of strange. I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
I think it's probably time to talk about Sports Story.
Yeah.
Which reappeared after years?
Like a year.
A year, I think.
Okay.
I feel like it was in a relatively recent Indie Direct, I think. Not the last one, obviously, but
yeah.
I am half excited and half cautious.
Yeah.
I'm worried that they're biting off more than they can chew.
Yeah.
I didn't think Golf Story was that great to begin with.
I thought Golf Story was fun for the first few worlds, and then I got it kind of lost me a little bit, but I did enjoy it.
It looks very unfocused to me. There's just too much going on.
There's so many sports, and like if it was just the sports, that'd be fine. But there's like dungeons and then like a stealth section, and those parts. Yeah, the stealth section doesn't look fun.
That stuff stood out to me as just like, all right, there's too much going on.
It looked like a freaking A Link to the Past dungeon.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what it was.
And there were like jellyfish in it and like pots.
I just really hope the like stealth and dungeon stuff is not like the focus of the game called Sports Story.
If you're gonna put dungeons in it, they should be sports dungeons. I stand by this. They should figure out how to make sports dungeons because that's a very funny concept.
Yeah.
And just like you got a full commit. My biggest issue, I think, with Sports Story, like when I look back on it, is I kind of hated the music.
Oh, Golf Story.
Or Golf Story, yeah. Sorry, I hated the music so much; it was so grating. And I know that's a really like silly thing to like hold against the game, like on a grand level. But like when you're selling me a like 16-bit looking like RPG game, you better have a soundtrack that like at least it doesn't have to like be an equal to what I expect from a game like that, but you should at least like try.
Yeah,
I don't remember the music at all, really.
I haven't gotten around to Golf Story yet, so I can't comment on that.
You haven't tried it either?
No, not yet. I've had it for a while, just Right now I'm playing through Turtles, so...
Yeah, but Golf Story was like a year one Switch
No,
game.
I know. I waited for the physical and then didn't play it.
Oh, gotcha.
As typically happens for me.
Yeah. You call that one the CMM story.
That's true, yeah. But yeah, it looks
I don't think Golf Story is like amazing, but it was cute while I had fun with it.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I think it's terrible. I just like it was such a like I don't know what the word I would even use, like, because I don't think people really did dress it up with too many accolades, but it was propped up as one of the better like indie games on the Switch early on.
And I mean, like, there wasn't much competition, so it was.
Yeah, it just didn't like stick with me at all. So.
So I'm worried about Sports Quest or Sports Story. Is it Sports? What is it? Sports Story? Yeah,
Sports
not
Story,
Sports Quest. Yeah. Because so I think last time they showed it, there were a few sports, and now it feels like the sports have increased as well.
Oh yeah, they showed like fishing.
They showed fishing, yeah, and I saw cricket. And cricket, and I saw a part of a dungeon where it looked like they fished something. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I agree with James that if you're gonna do like sports story with a bunch of sports and have dungeons, they sure as hell better be sports dungeons. I
hope the dungeon battles are just sports and not like fighting. I really don't want it to be combat.
I very much want it to be like, you need to score a 3-pointer in this basketball hoop to open the door, like stupid or like shit like that.
Beat a skeleton boss by being in like a little soccer match.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Like you walk in and there's like a freaking like zombie dragon. And he like
maybe it is fire. That we did not see any enemies or any combat.
I know, but I don't know. We'll see.
I would hope
we did see stealth, and stealth segments are usually bad.
I would hope
it's out in like a month, right? So we'll figure it out.
So it is making it for this year, just in time for Fantasy League.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's. I would assume, I want to make the assumption that the dungeons would be using the mechanics from the sports, but like since they didn't show it, I don't know.
We know that one is fishing.
So one has like someone he was fishing something, and then
so in that fishing one, it's the fishing thing opens a door that has like it looks like a golf flag on it. So maybe that's like a golfing room.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe they segment the dungeons out, and it's like when you enter a room with a sport on it, it switches to that sport or something.
That would be cool.
That's a little bit.
But again,
disappointing.
I was also worried the first one was kind of biting off more than it can chew.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it'll surprise us.
I'd be kind of disappointed if the dungeons are like, okay, you go in this dungeon and now there's a room where it's a golf room and now it's a room where it's a cricket room. Like that's, I don't know.
Yeah,
you can do a lot. You can do a lot with that concept, and that's
If they want to have dungeons, it would be cool for there to be the golf dungeon and the volleyball dungeon and the like whatever the dodgeball dungeon, and the boss is like Bongo from Ocarina of Time, but he's a dodgeball king because he's mostly invisible.
What I liked most about Golf Story was that you could fire the golf balls off everywhere, and that sometimes had like effects.
Oh,
and I wonder if this will be able to have that just because it has so many sports.
Yeah. Like, I could see, like, puzzle rooms where it's like, you're playing cricket and you have to smack the ball into something or at an angle or something to open a door or, take out enemy waves or something.
Yeah, so hopefully it's not too clunky to switch between those as well.
Yeah, that's why I, like, see you saying, like, oh, there was a flag with a golf ball outside of the room. I'm like, that's boring.
And again, maybe it wasn't a golf flag.
It might not have been, yeah. But
also, I'm counting the little the O in Sports Story has like all the different sports on it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sports.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope it turns out well. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it would be
I'm
great
still looking
if it turned out good.
Especially since they were like such an unknown dev, and they came out of nowhere and made like even like a very interesting game. Even if it didn't click with you, it's definitely a unique thing.
Yeah.
Furukawa's favorite Switch game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what he said back then?
Yeah, I think he did actually. I forgot all about that. But yeah, I guess overall thoughts.
My overall thought is I want to play Rodent's Revenge.
Rodent's Revenge is good. Give it a shot. It's fun.
I mean, my overall thought is I want to play Pepper Grinder.
I didn't like that indie world very much. There was a few things I liked, but a lot of the stuff was
Yeah, it just wasn't my cup of tea. That's fine.
Yeah, like mostly nothing looked bad.
Yeah, which is good. Nothing looked like genuinely like awful.
No, like they curated a good selection of games from around the world, and I think that's the general goal of Indie World. It's a very global event, which is great to see.
Yeah, and there's still the Japanese.
The amount of games that were kind of more wholesome-y.
Yep.
Was not for me. I'm also not a wholesome direct kind of guy.
Yeah, we were saying before we recorded that this one kind of gave off wholesome direct vibes. Yeah, although I tend to like a lot of the stuff in wholesome directs, and this was more of a mixed bag for me. Again, not saying anything's bad, just in terms of like stuff that I would personally enjoy.
Yeah, but there was at least one or two games I think I'll buy. So
yeah, I think,
or at least consider to buy.
I think the variety was decent. Like sometimes you get those ones where it's all narrative stuff or like all puzzle games or whatever. Yeah,
there was less of the farming memes this time.
Well, yeah,
I was gonna say I don't think there were any unless you count Haka, which it seems like it might have a farming element to it.
Yeah, definitely not as many farmings last time.
For me,
that wasn't even an indie world. That was
it. Yeah, that was
direct,
dude.
For me,
the farming direct.
I like seeing some stuff at least that's like Twitch or combat or platform focused. So stuff like Pepper Grinder, and like, or even combat related, like Oni or like, you know, Have a Nice Death. Like it was nice for me to see those on top of the puzzle games like Little to the Left or like some of the more unique stuff like Venba, or Dogong Gigadong.
We're definitely past the age of indie games where like the majority of the ones you hear about are action platformers, like pixel action platformers.
Or pixel puzzle platformers.
I feel like the majority of the indie games you see these days, like a lot of them like kind of err on the like adventure game side, whether they are closer to a visual novel or closer to a point and click or
which is nice
somewhere
to see.
Weird in between. It's
I still get very sick of the buzzwords I'm sick of right now are roguelike and Metroidvania. Like if a game has those two words in the title, I'm probably very low interested.
Yeah, well, I just like seeing some.
Or either of them.
Like both of those together.
Yeah, I just think.
I mean, also roguelike is, both of them as well.
I mean, roguelike is such a vague.
It's so vague
at this point, but like
once in a while a roguelike gets me now, and once in a while a Metroidvania gets me, but usually it's not a. Both of them aren't just like. They have to be really excelling in those genres for me to be.
There was this one point where there seemed to be, and this could be incorrect, this is just my perception of it, but there was a point in time where it seemed like there were a very large inflection of puzzle platformers, maybe due to stuff like Fez or like, you know, whatever. And like that stuff I never was super into. So it's
I loved Fez, but the problem was a lot of them had very one-note gimmicks. I remember there was one called like it was like Snap or something. Like you took a picture of like one part of the map and you could paste it in another part of the map.
Oh, I remember.
And there were a lot of games like that where they had like their one gimmick. And they stretched that gimmick out for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And usually I just didn't care enough about the gimmick.
For me, it would be like just the puzzle platforms in general that are very like there's only one solution for this and this is how you have to play it.
Yeah.
Are much more boring to me than a standard action platformer where you have like choices or like.
Well, I agree.
Can mess things up.
Puzzle platformers should be more like the best puzzle platformer ever made, Donkey Kong 94. And they're usually not like Donkey Kong 94.
Yeah.
Which is the problem.
Yeah, it's usually like they're very linear and there's only one way to do things. So it's nice for me to see like stuff, you know, even if it's like, oh, it's a roguelike or oh, it's a Metroidvania, at the very least it's like you have multiple ways to do something. There's some combat, there's some intrigue. So seeing stuff like Pepper Grinder is always going to make me happy. I know there was an indie world a while back where they showed Elec Head, and I was like, all right, sick. Like this is a game that I want to play.
Did that come out?
It did, yeah.
Did people like it?
I've heard good things about it. I haven't picked it up yet. I want to say it's like $10.
And that's the problem with some of these like indie worlds is that like I just forget the games by the time they come out.
I have to like specifically go through and like kind of wish list some of them just to remember that they exist.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so you has a 97 on Steam out of 500 rating, so not very popular, but people do like it.
But yeah, so like you have games like Pepper Grinder that are for people like me, and then maybe, you know, a game like what was that one? Blanc, the Fawn.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Blanc. It looked fine.
It's like a text-free thing, and so like there was good variety in this one to me, like better than a lot of other indie worlds.
Yeah.
Everything was not, you know, puzzles or narrative or whatever. So that made me happy. It was just, again, and I kind of feel bad for ragging on it so much, but like, and I don't mind cheesy presentations, but this one is these guys who do it for indie world just actively anger me when I'm.
No, I mean, I'll just say like I don't love their format.
No.
Like the long interviews are also just.
I'm okay with it.
Sometimes they're fine, and sometimes they're not interesting.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how they structure those interviews. I think they fit well in this sort of space, but like some of them are kind of meandering.
The problem is these guys aren't PR people.
No, they're just developers, which is nice to see.
Developers.
Yeah,
I mean, but if not every game has talks with the developers, and like you could absolutely agree to not do that part if you don't think that you're capable of pulling it off.
Sure.
And I mean, I don't think anybody would think any less of a person for that.
I don't think there were any this time that were particularly horrendous.
No. I don't think so.
You know, I do like being able to hear from people who are making these games, because that's not something that you get with, like, you know, it's not like when you're watching, you know, Xbox Showcase or whatever, you're gonna really hear from people who are actually working on the game. You're gonna hear from like some PR dude or like an executive, and then your musician is going to call you out on Reddit. But anyway,
I would much rather hear from them than an executive. That should go without saying.
Agreed.
So like I value that. It's just the people that they have to like narrate over the like actual trailer part of it.
I getcha.
Is like it's to the point where it's like secondhand embarrassment. Like for me anyway, like it reaches that. It reached that for me this time, and I'm just like,
so you would say that it is you would say that it is cringe.
Basically,
that's the word you want.
I don't like using that word. I think it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's
you would say that it is not based.
It does not give the connotation I'm going for. I'm sure they're fine and well-meaning people, and like some of the descriptions are helpful, but other times it's one of those things where it's like, if someone caught me watching this, I'd like actually like recoil.
That's cringy then.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's just I wish
they can be well intentioned and cringy at the same time.
When they had that guy who left for Xbox Live Arcade, I forget his name. He was good. Damon Baker? Was it Damon Baker?
I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
He was well-spoken and passionate, and like he wasn't like, you know, there was some cheesiness in there, but like he was likable and like felt like a person, and was like, it was fine. He was a good presenter. I don't know who they have, these two guys now, but like it's like please, like I wish I had more specific examples. I should have written them down, but there were a few parts
I think
today.
I get what you're saying.
There were a few parts today where I like literally was like, why?
it feels kind of forced.
And it kind of cheapens the presentation and cheapens the stuff that they're showing.
So like, I guess I'm glad it has its own identity rather than just.
It does have an identity, which is good.
Nintendo Direct 2's.
I mean, it does have its own identity and its vibe, but like, I don't think that identity is tied to their presenters. I think the presenters.
You just think the presenters are.
I just think they're bad, like okay, straight up. Yeah. I feel bad for saying that because it's not an easy job to do that. But it's to the point where it's so like, that it like detracts from the whole thing.
Yeah, if it's distracting, then
it's like very distracting and takes away from the actual content, which I think is actually pretty solid. I feel like with better presenters, this one probably would have shined a little bit more.
Yeah, again, not for me, but I think they showed an interesting selection of things.
I think they did too. I think that's kind of what they go for with these, right? Is to show a decent variety of stuff, and it's good when they manage to actually have a spread of different genres and different game types, and not everything. I'm not saying that like all pixel art games are the same or all narrative games are the same, but sometimes when you put games side by side, you don't do them any favors because it's harder to get the intricacies of both in such a quick format. So you're kind of doing a disservice. Yeah, like when you have like in the direct with the farming games, it's like those games are distinct and have different things going on, but the way that you presented them and showed them, makes them look like, oh great, like I don't care about any of these.
I will say with the food thing that they didn't show the other food games in this direct.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen very similar looking food games from different cultures,
right?
Recently, so I feel like it's that genre is kind of feeling a little not tired, but I don't know. They all look kind of similar.
But they didn't make the mistake of like showing like multiple back to back or whatever.
100%.
Yeah, which is good. Because I think there are merits to each one, even if they're not really your thing. Yeah. Like I probably won't play them, but like okay, like that stands on its own and looks good and gives the game, a good shot in the pants, which is important for these.
Yeah.
Because these are small teams.
They probably get most of their sales on Switch too, because I mean, like, look at Electhead had 500 reviews on Steam.
Yeah, you see, and certain games are like console exclusive or whatever on Switch, or some Shadow dropped today, like, Rogue Legacy dropped today, and that the Jester game. So I'll probably hit up Nintendo after this and be like, hey, did you play the Jester game? How is it?
Yeah, I bet that landing Nintendo World is about the best thing that could happen to you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
As one of these, of these like really small, like niche targeted indie releases.
Yeah.
Which in that context, maybe it is good that like an Inscription goes to like a
like a sizzle reel,
a real thing, because it's big. It's gonna get the sales.
Yeah, it's bigger.
Right.
It doesn't need the highlight like these other games do.
Yeah, that's even similar for World of Horror. Like that's not a huge game, but I mean. People know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently people know what Wobble Dogs is too. I didn't. So
it has 5,000 reviews on Steam.
Yeah.
So
it's doing all right. It's doing a lot better than our. Again, I'm only bringing it up because I just looked at it, but our good pal Electhead.
Yeah, our good friend Electhead. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I generally see these differently than I see general directs. I mean, maybe not too dissimilarly. I just kind of look for stuff that's like, if there's like one or two things in there that I'm like, cool, I want to play this, I'm usually happy, and everything else is kind of just icing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, like for me, a lot of it ends up being like, oh, I'm just waiting for this game that I already knew about that existed on PC to come to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is what is probably my problem when I come into a lot of these, is because I'm looking for something that I already know exists.
Yeah.
Like I think my favorite Indies Direct was probably the one that like had like icy dungeons and what's that one puzzle game where you're like a Viking, cartoon Viking?
I don't know.
Are you talking about Grindstone?
Grindstone.
Oh, Grindstone rules. Was Into the Breach in that one too?
I think it might have been. It's like that one indie direct was like my favorite one, and I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, those are just like games
PC games I wanted to play.
Yeah.
That I wanted to play like on a handheld, that I didn't want to be like tied to my computer for.
And like even in this one, I knew about the drill game beforehand, and I was like, but I was surprised. I didn't expect it there.
Yeah, the stuff that I actually will get excited about when I'm watching these is stuff like that, where I've like seen it on another platform. I'm like, oh cool, I can play this now. But I also really like being like surprised by stuff that like I just did not know anything about. So it's different strokes for different folks. I do think the biggest, it was exciting, but I do think a mistake that they made in one of the earlier presentations is when they ended it with Cadence of Hyrule, because now everyone's like, when's the next Nintendo and indie collab?
When's the Mario game?
When's the Metroid indie game?
Where's Mario Spelunky?
Or like,
way forward, make Wario.
Or like where's Silk Song?
That's it. No Smash.
That's it. No Silk Song is like the indie world version of No Smash. So yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair to Silk Song, at least that is like an indie game.
Yeah.
Like I'd actually forgotten the Cadence of Hyrule capped off an indie world.
Yeah.
That does set the expectations of people who like they can't think that are like drooling idiots to like that sets an expectation for those types of people to be like, well, if the Zelda game's not here, then I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like, shut up, dude. Like it's not fair to these other people that aren't working with a pre-existing loved franchise, like Jesus Christ. That was a big mistake. I didn't even think about it in those terms until you just said that, but man,
it's something you don't think about until later on.
I think it definitely colored the perception of future indie worlds. Well, back then they were what, Nindy whatever. I still like Nindy better, but whatever.
Nindies. I still call them Nindies.
Yeah. But and they do still do the whole thing where they end on like a big quote unquote thing, or like a bigger thing, which is fine.
I mean, like Sports Story is still like a game that's made by probably like 10 people.
Yeah. It's like a more known entity.
I think it fits well as a closer because people were expecting it. And like, are those games on other platforms? Or are they Switch only? I think Golf Story might be only on Switch.
I want to say Golf Story is just Switch. Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is. Switch only indie games is just not something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's Switch only. How did that never come to PC? Wow. Goodness.
Yeah, I guess they were just kind of.
Might just be a small team that just doesn't have the resources to. It just wasn't worth it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think Sports Story is actually the perfect kind of indie game to end it on, because I think something like Silk Song is going to end up in a regular direct, if it ends up in a direct at all.
Was what, an Xbox showcase, like a big Xbox show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It did show up briefly at an Xbox thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that kind of thing, or it's kind of like a middle. Even if it's not
triple I.
Triple I.
Please.
Even if it's
please shut up again.
If it's not a known property, but or not a known thing, or like something that people are excited for, but it's something that's like unique or like grandiose or like potentially would appeal to more people than certain stuff, it would be fine as a closer. Like I would have been fine with Pepper Grinder as the closer if I did not know now that people already knew it existed.
Yeah. So it seems like not a lot of people did.
Yeah. So like you can definitely do like a decent closer, and today's was a good example of that. Just don't do like Nintendo indie Metroid collaboration.
If it has Nintendo in it, just keep it for a regular direct.
Or like a Twitter announcement or something. Like But yeah.
Let these people have their day.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff's hard.
But yeah, it's
a lot of stuff
great,
for early 2023.
People from different countries talk about their games that are often about like their own cultures, and that's cool to see.
Yep, and then you have that dumbass presenter who's like wee wee after they talk in French for like 2 minutes.
Whoa, look at Durante.
And they go ha ha ha, and I'm like, oh Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah, don't do that.
Sorry to our French listeners.
Don't do that, but like
I'm not sorry.
Don't do that in the presentation anymore, but you you feel me. But yeah. So that was Indie World.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We'll see you guys again soon with something else. I know we want to do another video episode soon.
Yeah, it'll be at least we'll let you know the next one.
Maybe a Mario Kart DLC pack coming out here in the next few
probably
weeks,
December.
Yeah, let's do a video again soon. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'd like to do those streams
Fortnite.
For Mario Kart. Yeah, the lost Fortnite episode.
Yeah, we have to re-record Fortnite.
Also, like I said, I don't know if this will be out in time, but play Pikmin Bloom, you nerds.
Yes.
Go for a goddamn
Bloom.
walk.
This is your weekly.
The anniversary week.
Yeah, this is your
Respect
weekly reminder.
Bloom.
You get all the badges that you didn't get because you didn't go for a walk on the Saturday or Sunday that the community day was for the past year.
And community day.
It'll take you a little while.
Community Day this time is 2 days, November 12th, November 13th. I think this will go up on the 13th, so I guess screw you, but...
You only need 5,000 steps per day. Go for it.
Yeah. I might get some good steps in those days. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to go for it just for the anniversary badge. I want the anniversary badge. That's how... And then there's the Pikmin 3 Deluxe event coming soon, too.
There's also, you get little Pikmin that are in these little snack bags. They're surrounded by little nuts and stuff.
They got little gummies.
The Pikmin are so cute.
Yeah.
Pikmin Bloom, you nerds. It's good for you.
Pikmin Bloom, the best Pikmin game. Don't at me.
And don't just sit at your computer and shake your phone.
It's definitely the Pikmin game I've played the most.
Yeah, it's the one I enjoy the most, and I hope people get mad when I say that.
Probably the one I've enjoyed the most too so far, but I've only played one.
Yeah. Pikmin Bloom's important. That's the last thing. And also, I'll say it too since I'm playing it right now. If you haven't played TMNT Shredder's Revenge and you like beat 'em ups, play it. Is very good.
I beat
love letter
when it came out.
Love letter to that series. I'm loving the crap out of it right now.
You know the taunt thing?
I know there's a taunt button and then it gives you the meter.
Yeah, you can pretty much beat any boss just by taunt spamming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised on that one. But
besides that, I think it's very fun, and you just have to not do that.
Yeah, it makes some very good choices about the combat system. That evolves it from.
It feels a lot smoother going back to the old games. It feels more like Streets of Rage was Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah, and that shared those
smoothness.
Yeah, and those two games shared team members, so it's certainly not. It's definitely not a coincidence. But yeah, that was my bit. Pikmin Bloom and TMNT alongside your indie games.
What am I playing on Switch right now? I bought Call of Juarez.
I thought you were gonna say Call of Duty. I was like, what?
No, Call of Juarez is on sale for like $2.
Wait, really?
Wait, which one?
Yeah,
the one that people like.
Gunslinger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not. I played the original one, and the original one actually is like it's not very good, but you can play as a character in it at one point. That's like a preacher. And you got your gun in one hand and you got the Bible in the other hand, and you click the right button on your mouse to like shoot the gun, and you click the left button on your mouse to read a verse from the Bible while you're doing it.
That's wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's $2 and it seems pretty fun. It seems like what's that game called? Sort of Bulletstormy in how you get points.
Right.
Oh, that's neat.
That's
like you get different points for like headshots and like maybe not quite as detailed as Bulletstorm, but I did like that you get experience and even a little.
There should be more cowboy games.
I'm still doing Splatoon as well, on and off. Splatfest is this weekend.
I'm waiting for an update at this point.
Yeah,
I beat the single player.
I should play more Splatoon, and I should play the single player. But I swear to God, I did two. The two of the
Anarchy
series in a row where I won 2 games and I won 3 games, and then I disconnected out of the next games in the series.
Oh,
and that happened to me twice in a row, and I was just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I haven't.
I'll get better. I want to at least play the single player because I hear the single player is really good.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's very fun.
I also need to finish Xenoblade 3.
Weeb Simulator 3.
I would also recommend a little game called Haunting Ground for the PlayStation 2.
Oh yes, that's a cool game.
Been streaming that a little bit lately, and that game is freaking weird.
James would also like to recommend a game he's been streaming lately called Sonic Frontiers.
You know what? Real briefly before we hop off, I would like to hand it to Sonic Team for making a Sonic game that I played for about 8.5 hours and did not hate it.
Yeah, there you go. That's your most ringing endorsement.
I did not like it very much, but there were parts of that were actually pretty cool. Yeah. And you know what? After Sonic Lost World, Sonic Boom, and Sonic Forces all in a row, kudos to them.
Yeah. I think it's ambitious even if it doesn't totally work, and I hope that it's a foundation for what they do in sequels, but we'll see. So yeah, Sonic Frontiers, everyone, Game of the Year 2022, just like Sonic Forces 2017.
Goodness gracious.
Make sure you buy 10 copies.
I saw that somebody has already on the PC version modded the cyberspace stages to have better controls.
Yep.
And that is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. Sonic modders work so fast.
Well, I guess that's their thing, huh?
Yep.
Gotta go fast. Modding this game at the speed of sound.
I'm deleting James from the podcast.
They got it. Someone has to make the game good, because Sega sure ain't gonna fucking do it.
It seems like they're just so not confident in everything they did in that game, because you can tweak like weird. So much.
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it.
I don't want to go into it right now. We can talk about it another episode.
Stuff to be really silly.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a Sonic Frontiers episode at some point.
That would be very funny. Yeah, we should corral Mina for that, because I'm looking at Discord right now, and well, she's not currently playing it, but about an hour ago she was.
Yeah, I saw it too. I'm probably gonna pick it up at some point once it like price drops or whatever.
Yeah, I want to wait for the price drop on the PC version.
I'm kind of interested in playing it once it gets like $20 on Steam.
Yeah. I got the Sonic Adventure 2 shoes for the newsletter subscription because I was like, why not?
You got Sonic shoes?
If you sign up for the newsletter, you get a code to make Sonic's shoes in-game, like the ones in Sonic Adventure 2. And they literally
I thought you actually bought Sonic shoes.
Yeah, I thought you bought soaps, and I was going to be like,
and it's funny because they don't call them soap shoes, they just call them Sonic Adventure 2 shoes in-game, which is hilarious to me.
Well, that's what soap stands for.
Yeah. But yeah, so Indie World. Anyway, if you want to find us, there's a Discord. I think the Discord link changed. Is that?
Yeah, it's now discord.gg/ninpipe, NINPIPE. We had some spammers joining, so we changed that.
Gotcha. 9 Inch Nails
we'll
pipe.
Update that on the blog when we can.
Yeah, or when I remember, because because that's basically dead.
Let's bring back the blog. Let's get people to write stuff again.
People would have to want to write things for the blog.
Yeah, let's peer pressure them to do it.
If you want to find CMM specifically, you just need to find your nearest dumpster.
Wow.
Open it.
Wow.
And say CMM 3 times.
And then I spawn.
Yeah, you just kind of come up right out the garbage chute.
Or just like a condom wrapper fly out of the dumpster.
Oh God.
Nice.
All right, we're getting places now. I think it's time to end
on that
wonderful note. Thanks for listening. Check us out if you like us. We're on everything. And yeah, we'll have another episode next time.
Maybe it'll be on something.
Maybe it'll be Sonic Frontiers. Maybe it won't. But yeah, bye.